find such a difference, I said operation would have to be stopped within 1 day, because a mechanic without a screwdriver, a hunter without a rifle, and a caterer without a knife, or a loader, for example. I said there was a system behind it. All the stuff are categorized, certain categories, like a pilot, for example. If you have an ID, where do I have my ID? If I have an ID as a pilot, I may enter the airport. That means identification, permission, and search. And if they find an X with a pilot, what happened? You know, what happened is, okay, no problem with the X, because it's emergency equipment in the cockpit. He needs an X, and without an X, he may not fly. Yeah, and so on. That's how it works with control of the stuff. And there are a lot of different categories, at least at each airport, 10 different categories. Might be it's a doctor and he needs a scalpel. Might be it's a mechanic and needs certain tools, and so on. That's what we were talking before. But there comes a big but. If people are taking prohibited items with them, and might be allowed by exception because they are working there and they need it for professional reasons, then they are responsible as well that nobody else can take these items. If you have your tools with you and your toolbox with screwdrivers and so on, then you're responsible for that, have to observe it at any time, yeah? Or if you leave it, hello gentlemen, if you leave it alone, then you have to lock it. Or let's say you're a mechanic and you have a car full of tools and so on, and you have to enter the critical part of an airport. Then you may take it with you, it's all checked. You may take it with you. When you take it with you, you're responsible that nobody can get the tools without any permission. So you have to observe it at any time. Or if you're not able, you have to lock it. That means you have to lock your car. And if the caterer is stopping work for break, for having a breakfast break or whatever, and has all these knives, then he has to lock the knives or the room where the knives are in. And that it's the same procedure for any, let's say, maintenance hall. Yeah. For example, Lufthansa has a big maintenance hall at the airport, and they have a lot of tools in prohibited items within that maintenance hall, the hangar. Yeah, if they have their break and they leave the hangar, they have to close it, lock it. So you see, it's part of the procedure. Sometimes when we do the audit, we go on the airport, go to every car, look, is it open or not? If it's open, we look, search. If you find a screwdriver or something else, there's a problem. Yeah? Report, and might be additional training for those people. Might be, if it's a second or third time, they lose their permission to enter the critical part of the airport. That's how we act, and we check it every time by audits, internal audits, and so on. If we don't do it, authorities would do it, and if they find that's the worst case, then the whole operation of the airport is endangered. That's how we do it, that's how we act and handle. The critical part, and if it's necessary, they are searched. So aircraft leaves, half an hour later, take away the rope or whatever, and then there is no critical part anymore on the airport. Possible solution, especially for very remote airports. Other airports have other solutions. I said, for example, they just have the apron.